Julie Essex is so in love with himself, the narcissism is ripping it out of him. Love Island UK episode 41 and 42, and I feel like I should be saying poor Jessica, but not poor Jessica. She came in Casa, she went for Ayo and she knew what she was getting herself into. So is it poor Jessica? No. When Jessica stood up to choose the man she wanted to be with, obviously she chose Ayo, but she said that the relationship would grow as long as they communicated. Now, as I've said from day one, Ayo cannot communicate. He's an actual dunce. Even Mimi said herself he can't put sentences together. Talking to him is like trying to get blood out of a stone. Imagine actually living with that. Anything that you say to him, he's literally just making noises. Honestly, I couldn't be fucked with it. It's like speaking to a child that doesn't actually know how to talk. When Jessica was trying to speak to him, Mimi walked out and Ayo was like, he couldn't take his eyes off her. I'd have been like, do you know what? I wouldn't take your silly fuck, you're just actually making me look like a dick. I had seen an interview with Ruby and Diamante. Not that I was really interested in what they had to say, to be honest. However, they were talking about the people who got in trouble the most in the villa, and they said that Jess got in trouble the most because she was always trying to speak to Ayo, because there's times in the villa where they don't have to worry about being filmed. So the boys and girls have dinner separately, and every time they were having dinner or they were separated, Jess was always in trying to speak to Ayo, and they were like, Jess, we can see you, Jess, we can see you. And also they said that sometimes members of the crew would come in and speak to them while they were having dinner. So here I'm thinking that they're totally isolated, but they're actually speaking to the crew and stuff as well. Now, as we all know, I have loved Mimi from the start. She's been one of my favourites. However, when she was with Ayo, she was like, oh, let me know where your head's at. If you think your head's going to turn, like, just be honest with me, communicate with me, blah, blah, blah. And that was all fine and well. However, now that Josh is in the house, and she keeps going and speaking to Ayo, and the two of them are flirting with each other, and like, feelings are still there, blah, blah, blah. But then, whenever Jessie and Josh ask about it, the two of them flat out deny it. And it is so rude, because she's been saying to him from the start, I want open communication, I want you to be honest with me. Jess is saying the exact same to Ayo. But the two of them are just fucking lying to everybody's face, and they're trying to make out as if like, oh no, it's over, we just like to talk, we're just having a talk to catch up. But they're sitting there flirting with each other. It's absolutely disgraceful. One thing that did annoy me though is that Mimi said she was feeling pressured because Josh came into the house and he came in for her, and he's not really giving her space to go and talk to Ayo and do the things that she wants to do. However, if we remember correctly, he did come in and say that he was in there for Mimi, but on his first speech, he stood up and said, oh, somebody else has caught my eye. And that was okay for him to say that, but it's not okay for her to go and talk to Ayo or do other stuff. He's basically saying, oh, I came in here for you. Tut, 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 Josh. We all remember when you said that you had eyes for Grace, so shut the fuck up. Before I move on to current Love Island affairs actually, did anybody see this video? And when this came on TikTok, I thought that this was a memorial or that somebody had died or something, and I seen that it said Uma, but then when you look at it closely, it says, will you be my girlfriend? Now this is a lovely setup, right? I'm not really into roses and like bland coloured flowers or anything, but this is a really lovely setup. The candles look lovely, like the balloons and everything. I don't even know if this was real. I don't know if they made this for like advertising or if Will was really asking Uma out, but I mean, I would walk into that and I'd be like, did somebody die? Anyway, back to the drama. Ruben wasn't happy with Grace's speech because she said that she was still really open to get to know other people, and she hoped that he felt the same. And for whatever reason, he took offence to this. And he was talking to one of the boys and he said, I better go and talk to her and let her know that I'm not in love with her or whatever. So I thought, he is so sensitive, like, she's not done anything wrong. So then, he had the audacity to walk up to her and say, can we have a chat? And she's like, oh, can I have my cereal first? And he says, oh, well, no, can we talk now? I'd be like that. Is this chat going to be more important than cereal? The answer is no. I'll be over in 10 minutes. One thing that I'm confused by is when I seen an interview with Ronnie and Harriet, and they were saying that the food gets sent up to them, and Harriet was saying that for breakfast they'll send up like shepherd's pie or whatever at 10 o'clock, and she doesn't like to eat stuff like that. But they must also have days where they send them up cereal and eggs and stuff. to make each other breakfast, because we've seen them make each other food a few times before, and then the other day they were just eating cereal, so they must do that just so that you see them eating every now and then. It was time for the games, and as I've been saying for weeks, they need to have at least one game a week because it's so dramatic, and I personally love the drama and reality TV. I can do without it and Big Brother sometimes, but when it comes to Love Island and F-Boy Island, I love it. And by the way, if you don't watch F-Boy Island, it sounds like absolute shit, but I'm telling you, it's excellent. So they were asking questions like, which couple do you think's least likely to last outside the villa? Who are you least likely to speak to outside the villa and stuff like that? And Joey's attitude is fucking pathetic, right? Now, I'm not saying that Grace is completely over Joey, but to be honest, I think that he's into her more than she's into him. When they came back for the games, he had the absolute cheek to pull Grace for a chat and talk about how much she's still in love with him, and he was saying that she's only friends with Jess to stay close to him. And I'd be like, you don't get to tell me who I'm friends with. We're not together. And what made it even worse is when she walked away and she was talking to the girls, he's like, let's just drop it now, let's just drop it. I'd be like that, Joey, who the fuck do you think you are? You don't get to tell me who I'm friends with, who I talk to and what I talk about. Take yourself to fuck. During the games as well, they had to vote for who was most likely to talk about them behind their back, and most of them picked Joey. And he was like, yeah, speak my mind, yeah, speak my mind. But guess what? You can speak your mind without talking about people behind their back. And if you do talk about people behind their back and then you say it to their face, then that's one thing. But they're all saying he bitches about people behind their back all the time. And he doesn't see the problem with it. He's an absolute cunt. I mean, we can all be cunts at times. I mean, I know it's probably hard to believe, but I can be a cunt, but I'm not as bad as him. And while I've been saying that Ayo and Mimi haven't been honest with Jessie and Josh, it wasn't his place to turn around during the games and say, oh, the feelings are still there with him and Mimi. Like, Ayo's been speaking to him in confidence, and then he just comes out with that during the games, and I just don't appreciate that at all. During episode 41, Sean asked Matilda to be exclusive, but it was so boring I didn't even make a video about it. Like, he's waited until they went out on a shit date and drove a Porsche up to have dinner, and it was like, oh, this is the best date ever. I thought, what kind of shit dates are people going on these days? Then when the girls were choosing the boys, obviously Nicole chose Kieran, and he asked her to be his girlfriend. Now, if that's her thing, then fair enough. I actually thought it was quite cute. However, this is a bit off topic, but I've been seeing a lot of Americans posting about Love Island and saying, oh, when you're an American watching Love Island, and then they're showing clips of Nicole and they can't understand what she's saying. And I'm thinking to myself, as a Scottish person, I watch Love Island, F-Boy Island, Big Brother, Canada, USA, Australia, and I understand all these different accents, even if they're really strong. But Americans are always ripping the piss out of people for the UK because they can't understand their accent. And I'm thinking, you're watching a British show and you're sitting slagging how she speaks. If you don't understand, fuck off and watch something else. You don't see me complaining that I can't understand their strong accents. It's just pure fucking laziness. Anyway, sorry, that was off topic. It just annoys me. But Nicole and Kieran are a boyfriend and girlfriend now. It's pretty much been obvious that that was going to happen for a long time. At this point, I feel like Nicole and Kieran are the only compatible couple. They're the only real couple in the house. And they're probably going to win. Whether or not they last outside because of her attitude with just being on his back all the time, I don't know. But you can let me know in the comments who you think's going to win. Tonight it's Pie, Marry, Snog. Is that what it's called? Snog, Marry, Pie. I fucking love Snog, Marry, Pie. So I'll see you again tonight. Bye!